You always hear stories about people who cheat death, the ones who survive plane crashes, walk away from car wrecks, or beat terminal illnesses. They call it a miracle, a second chance. I thought I was one of them. I was wrong. It started 3 months ago. I was driving home late at night, the rain hammering down so hard, it felt like the sky was trying to drown the earth. I remember the headlights of the truck coming toward me, blinding and relentless. The sound of metal crunching is something you never forget. I should have died that night. The paramedics said as much when they pulled me from the wreckage. It's a miracle, they whispered as they loaded me into the ambulance. He shouldn't be alive. At first, I believed them. I woke up in the hospital with barely a scratch on me. No broken bones, no internal injuries, just a few bruises and a headache that wouldn't quit. My family cried when they saw me, calling it divine intervention, fate, or sheer luck. But luck has nothing to do with it. The first sign that something was wrong came a week later. I was walking through my neighborhood park when I saw her, an old woman, sitting on a bench, her face pale and gaunt like she hadn't eaten in weeks. She was staring at me with eyes so hollow, they looked like black pits in her skull. "Not yet," she whispered as I passed her. I stopped in my tracks and turned around, but she was gone, just gone. I told myself it was nothing, just my imagination playing tricks on me. But deep down, I knew better. From that day on, things started to change. Shadows seemed to linger longer than they should. Lights flickered when I walked into a room, and then there were the whispers. At first, they were faint, just on the edge of hearing, soft murmurs in an empty house or faint voices in the dead of night. But they grew louder with each passing day until they were impossible to ignore. "You don't belong here," they hissed. I tried to brush it off as stress or trauma from the accident, but then people around me started acting strange. My wife would stop mid-conversation and stare at me like she didn't recognize me. My co-workers avoided eye contact, their smiles forced and uneasy. And then there were the accidents. A shelf collapsed inches from where I was standing. A car nearly ran me over while I crossed the street. A gas leak in my house almost killed me in my sleep. If I hadn't woken up choking on fumes, I wouldn't be here to tell you this. It felt like something or someone was trying to finish what that truck started. The breaking point came last night. I was lying in bed when I felt it, cold fingers brushing against my ankle under the blanket. My heart stopped as I froze in place, too terrified to move. Slowly, ever so slowly, I lifted the blanket. There was nothing there, but when I looked up, she was standing at the foot of my bed, the old woman from the park. Her skin hung loose on her bones, her eyes black voids that seemed to swallow all light. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out, just a low, rasping breath that sent chills down my spine. "You cheated," she finally said, her voice like dry leaves scraping against pavement. "I choose you. I don't understand," I stammered, backing away until my back hit the headboard. "You were supposed to die," she hissed. "You took what wasn't yours." And then it hit me. That night, in the car crash, someone else must have died in my place, someone who wasn't supposed to go yet. Somehow, some way, I had stolen their time. "Please," I begged, tears streaming down my face. "I didn't mean to." "It doesn't matter," she interrupted coldly. "Balance must be restored." Before I could say another word, she reached out and touched my chest with one skeletal finger. The pain was immediate and excruciating, a burning cold that spread through my entire body like ice water in my veins. When I woke up this morning, everything felt wrong. The world is muted now. Colors duller, sounds quieter, food tasteless. People don't look at me anymore. Not out of fear or discomfort, but because they can't. It's like I'm not even here. And then there's the reflection. When I look in mirrors now, there's nothing there. I thought I cheated death that night in the crash. But death doesn't play fair. It let me live, just long enough to take everything else away.